Shalom Israel, Shalom. It's Brother Raya. I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Malak Yahushua. Another strong Shalom to all of the mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprisings, the uproars, they're out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong Shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but they're building themselves up. Reading, praying, fasting, being diligent, steadfast, doing everything they could do to shake the hand and wake up the hopeful elect. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty Akwaf in this thing, that actually sincerely reverence their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, loving, steadfast, cooking someone clean, and doing all of the righteous acts of our foremothers on fire for the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty Akwaf that are not married as of yet, but they're building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, right, being diligent and steadfast, doing everything they could do to magnify the Most High in the ministry. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty children in this thing, abstaining from all lust, concupiscence, and peer pressure, on fire for the Lord. And last but not least, another strong shalom to the whole 12 tribes scattered abroad, reading, praying, fasting, making their body living sacrifice in the last days. Right? I want to make this quick cold cut through the spirit on staying strong and being strong in the Lord. Right? This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 12. Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down. So the Lord is telling you to lift up your hands which hang down. Your hands are your strength. Your hands put forth to have an action and to do work. So if your hands are hanging down low, that means you're getting tired of the burdens and carrying on certain things that may be in your life. Your hands are hanging down low, right? That may be your job, your family, a congregation, your children, responsibilities, right? It gets hard bearing all of these things at times. Because if you got the weight of the world on your shoulders, right, it may be too heavy for you to hold. You may have 1,000 counsels, right? Maybe get in trouble by night terrors, right? Threatening to lose your job. All of these things you got to deal with and carry on every day, bearing your cross. Your hands could start to get weak. Your work start to diminish. It says, and the feeble knees. Meaning what? If you're carrying something, like I said, a household, multiple children, everybody's looking up at you. If you fall, you not only displease the Most High, Yahweh Shai and the holy angels, but how would that affect your family? How would that affect your wife looking at you, your children, your brethren? You understand, the whole nation of Israel. Your knees get feeble, and it's hard for you to bear responsibilities, tribulations, problems, necessities, right? You got to kind of check yourself and say, well, am I strengthening myself in the Lord? Because every day you should wax stronger and stronger. Because the house of David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. That's spiritual. That's not talking about they was in a weightlifting contest. Meaning their spirit, their mind, their soul, it got stronger day by day. It got stronger in fasting. It got stronger in reading. It got stronger in forgiveness. It got stronger in love. While the house of Saul, it waxed weaker, and it got more feeble. And their hands hang down low. And they gave up. And they what? They fell out the truth. Verse 13, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way. So the Lord said, look, man, make straight paths for your feet. Meaning you shouldn't be on two different paths. Make your mind up. Are you in this truth or not? Are you on fire for the Most High or not? Are you going to bear your burdens like a true king and a true princess of the Most High? Or are you going to make excuses why you can't keep the commandments? The decision is yours, because you're going to eventually do one or two things. You're going to eventually stay on that path till you reach the kingdom of heaven, or you're going to be double-minded and stray off that path into a ditch, whether that be philosophies, this world, temptation, your own lust and covetousness of the things that you desire deep down within you that are going to manifest through your fruit. It says, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. So you got to heal, man. Because if you're breaking down and you're not being strong, you got to repair yourself. Your body's a temple. You have to heal it. Even on a physical level, they do maintenance to these temples and maintenance to houses, and they build things up and make sure that it's going to continue to prosper and stand. Right, let me get this quick precept. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 22. It says, let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance. So you have to draw to the Most High with full assurance, meaning without a shadow of a doubt, the Most High is with you. If you think he's only with you on the Sabbath days or when brothers are around, there's not a spirit to where the Most High can really save you for you to have faith in. Having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. So we got to be washed day by day in the spirit of the Most High, that we may be clean in His sight, so that we can, you understand, get forgiveness of our sins. Let me jump down to verse number 32, and it reads, it says, but call to remember the former days, in which after ye were illuminated. Meaning, call to mind the times that David ruled, when we were illuminated in the light of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Noah, Moses. Remember these times when you get weak and you get feeble. Because how else did we cross through the Red Sea? Through faith. How else did David beat Goliath? Through faith. How else did we do the things that we did? That's through Yahweh Shem Yahushua, being illuminated and walking in a dark place. How else are the children of the light going to make it up out of Babylon, the shadow of death? By being illuminated. It says, ye endured a great fight of afflictions. It didn't say a fight, a battle, a great fight. I mean, it's going to be a lot of war wounds, man. I've never seen anybody come out of war and they look like they just got out of the shower. When you're going to come out of the war, you're going to have wounds, gushes, slashes, marks, bruises. You're going to maybe have a broken bone, a limb, a fragment, right? A fracture. These things are bound to happen when you go to war. But it says a great fight of afflictions. And those afflictions ain't going to be easy, man. Because you think you're getting hit with stuff. You don't even know half the things that you're going to have to endure to get the kingdom of heaven. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 3 and verse 7, and it reads, wherefore, as the Holy Ghost saith, today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts as in the provocation, in the day of temptation in the wilderness, when your fathers tempted me, proved me, and saw my works 40 years. Wherefore I was grieved with that generation and said, they do always err in their heart, and they have not known my ways. Check that out. So I swear to my wrath, they shall not enter until my rest. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief. Unbelief, that's not talking about necessarily, okay, I don't believe in the Most High, and I do not believe in His Son. It's not necessarily what that's talking about when it says unbelief. How did the children of Israel in the wilderness not believe? Didn't they see the chariot? Didn't they come out of the Red Sea? What does it mean they didn't believe? Now, on a spiritual level, what was going on in the wilderness? We had tents. And in our tabernacles, a lot of men, women, and children, they murmured, where are we going? When are we going to get there? Are we going to make it? That unbelief isn't talking about not believing in the Lord. It's about having a spirit to know that the Lord is with you at all times and He's leading you. And no matter how long it takes, what you go through, how hot it is, the afflictions and endurances, you stay strong on the outside following the Lord and within having a pure heart. That's the elect. And what is that spiritually? When you cannot fame yourself on the outward, wearing a garment, a mitre, being on fire, zealous, but on the inside, you have an evil heart of unbelief. Well, I mean, we've been having war with Russia and talks of it for generations. I mean, it feels like forever. It feels like China just keeps talking trash and nothing ever happens. Maybe the United States, maybe they are going to endure for another 100 years, another 200 years. Maybe this kingdom and these talks of war is just talk. Now you start turning into those evil men in Ezekiel, the 12th chapter, that said that the days of every vision faileth. When the Lord said, hey, look, man, the effect of every vision is at hand. So those men watching, believing, and drawing near into the day of salvation are going to receive it. While the men that are murmuring, having unbelief, and not being strong in the Lord, they're going to depart. It says, in departing from the living God, but exhortate one another daily. That's a very important part of salvation is exhortation. Without exhortation, we wouldn't have won wars. Without exhortation, the disciples and the apostles, they would have never received spiritual power, man, through the hand of the Lord. They would have never thought that they can overcome scorpions and demons and by anything, man, of serpents to defile them. When you read the book of Luke, the 10th chapter. By exhortation, that had men carry on and be ready to die for the name of the Lord. Exhortation is extremely important. If you don't have exhortation, I mean, what do you have left? Because when a brother's at his wit's end and he doesn't have anything, and he forgets precepts, he doesn't have internet to watch the videos, Satan is on his mind, and that one brother stirring him up in the spirit. One memory can set you on fire. Hey, brother, you remember that time you had that dream you told me about where the Lord, he had destruction happen on the whole city? And then it was me, my family, and then it was you. Then it was a famine outside, and you said you looked up and you saw a blood moon. Not only did you say you seen a blood moon, but you said you seen a chariot descend right over top of us. And the next thing you said you saw was light. Then that brother, that may stir that brother's spirit up. Yeah, the Most High did show me that. You're right. Yeah, you're right. And then you start building them back up. Hey, remember that time, man, we almost got in an accident? Then that truck kind of swerved off the road into a ditch, and we were pinned up in traffic, and there was no way out. You start stirring that brother's spirit up and his heart up through exhortation, through remembering the past accounts of the Lord's mercy. You got to remember the right hand of the Most High. Stop always looking at the cup half empty and not half full, man. You have to be optimistic and understand that this is a just balance. Don't think you're going to have all right hand of the Most High and not left. Should not the Lord do good and evil? Right, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Ephesians. It's the mighty book of Ephesians, chapter 1 and verse 18. The eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of his calling. So sometimes you may have all of the wisdom and prophecy for days and times and weeks and seasons, forever. But you start to lose hope and your eyes get dim. Not get dim in the breakdowns, not get dim in the precepts. Because you may know the precepts, but not apply the precepts. What's the use of knowing David slew Goliath, but that does nothing to encourage and uplift your spirit? What's the use of knowing these deep, dark parables and mysteries and secret things in the heavens if that's not going to benefit you and encourage you and exhortate you? And your eyes start to get dim when they need to be getting enlightened. Enlightened is your eyes opening up. Damn, I saw a chariot. I just saw a blood moon. Just an earthquake in Mexico. All hell was breaking loose on the four corners of the earth. Martial law is on the way. It says this, being enlightened that you may know what is the hope of his calling. Because a lot of times brothers forget the hope of the calling. The reward is in this thing. Don't think it's no reward. It's all temptation, plagues, and death, but no crown and salvation. And what is the riches of his glory and his inheritance in the saints? And what is the exceeding greatness of his power to us ward who believe? Meaning, yeah, the Most High is terrible, strong, powerful, omnipotent. But don't forget, too, the exceeding greatness of his power to us ward who believe. Meaning how the Lord is going to carry us, keep us safe, protect us, and strengthen those men that actually believe according to the working of his power, so like his mighty power. So we can't forget that, man. Yeah, you may forget a precept, which is going to happen. You may forget a couple things here and there, but don't forget that. This is the book of Ephesians 4 and 13. Till we all come in the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of God unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahushua. So we all have to enter into the measure and the fullness and stature of the Lord. And that's going to take time. A lot of us were just planted, just started to take root, just started to understand what this thing was about. But you have to reach a measure and stature of Yahushua. What is that talking about? I mean, you got to move in his image, his likeness. You have to repent. You have to be strengthened. You have to endure sufferings. You got to move as if you're Yahushua. Family may have to deny you. Own countrymen hate you. You're going to have to enter into that measure of the same things that the Lord went through if you're actually the elect. And that's going to take a strong man to do that. Because how strong was Yahushua? Right, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 17. It says, woe to the idle shepherd. A shepherd is somebody that leads. You may lead your family, your friends, you understand, and helping them. You may lead a congregation. If you're in a position to help lead, exhortate, and strengthen, the Lord said, woe unto that man that's idle. He doesn't do his job. He doesn't strengthen and lead like he should be doing. Because what's the use of a man in a military position knowing all of the codes, knowing all of the secret chambers and different helicopters and different code, all of these different things and the stature and position that he's in, and a soldier just came into this thing. He's looking around, he's weary, he's faint-hearted, he has no understanding, but that commander doesn't lead him. That's off. It's like a man with vision seeing a man in blindness and not pulling him out of that ditch. Or man of wisdom and counsel and an ancient man not teach the younger. It says, woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock, meaning he gives up. He says, you know what? It is what it is. And now the sheep run astray. They get burned with fire. They get led into ditches. They get captured by revelous wolves, right? They wander into a dark country to never see light again. The sword shall be upon his arm. What is his arm? His strength. Meaning the Lord is going to start chopping down your strength, you being idle. You not being strong. It's an evil spirit not to be strong. When did the Lord give us the spirit of fear? I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'll ever be good enough. I don't know if I'm really in this truth. That's a demon sent from the third heaven to destroy everything that you strengthen yourself up in. It's like going to the gym for a month straight and just stop going. All your progression and work and ethic that you put in will go for naught. You building and not finishing your building. You hearkening to spirits is the same thing as taking the screwdriver, the hammer, the chisel, right, the saw, throwing it down in the midst of your building and saying, I can't finish. Because your mind is going to be the thing that manifests your works. Because as a man thinketh, so is he. It says, and upon his right eye. The right side is righteous. Your eye is what you see. Now, if the Lord darken your eye and he cut down your arm, you're going to stop seeing spiritual things. May not know how to break down the parables again. Forget precepts. Can't really say, is this the Gentiles? Is the white man, or is this us? I need another witness. Right? Things that were simple start to be in-depth breakdowns to you. It says, his arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. And the Lord will darken you, man. You better strengthen yourself up and stop being weary in that weak-like mentality and state. Because if you in that situation too long, the Lord won't give you over to that. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, and verse number 8. We are troubled on every side, yet not in distress. Now, this isn't a fairy tale book or an account that you just read from time to time. They were actually troubled on every side. The apostles had countrymen trying to stone them. They were threatening to get locked up, evil men, spies. The things that they had to deal with, they had to travel. They had to find out where they was going to lodge. They had secret men coming in to spy out their liberty, men hindering the work. So they were troubled on everything that they tried to set their hand to, yet not distressed, because they knew that they had to endure these things to get the kingdom. We are perplexed, meaning confounded, but not in despair. Meaning, even though we may build something that gets broken down, or we may go here with the doors shut, or we may go to this country and see no people, we're still not in despair because the work still has to continue. Persecuted but not forsaken, meaning we have a better resurrection. Cast down but not destroyed. Because a just man is going to fall, 7 times? So it's expected to fall. It's expected to be cast down. Always bearing about in the body of the dying of our Lord, Yahushua, that the life also of Yahushua be made manifest in our body. We have to be made manifest of the Lord in our body. Can't just eat chicken, wings, dance at feast days, and think that that's serving the Most High and his beloved Son. You have to bear about in the body. That's swollen, it's hard. Your body is not going to be something that's easy to be in. It's like being in a tabernacle or a temple that's cold, but you got to serve the Lord in severe weathers. Or a tabernacle that's hot, it's closed, it's spaced in. Your spirit is jammed up in this body and it has to deal with these infirmities, these pains, these ailments, these thoughts, these desires, these lusts. But you got to bear about in that, man, so that your spirit may be clean and undefiled while your body catches hell and goes through the fire, right? Let me get one more through the spirit. Right, it's the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse number 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of my mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then shalt thou make thy ways prosperous, and then shalt thou have good success. Have not I commanded thee, be strong? It's a commandment. It's not something that the valiant do. It's not something that only Joshua commands the warriors to do. Only the warriors be strong. All the other men tend to your gardens, tend to your flocks, tend to the children. Now carry on. No, that's a commandment for every man, woman, and child to be strong. Being strong isn't what men think it is today. It isn't having a car, a house, 14 chains, and 3 wives. It's not being strong or knowing all of the breakdowns. Being strong is to be put down 7 times and keep getting back up, not being discouraged. Because a lot of men will get discouraged. Well, the Lord keep putting me down. Maybe I'm meant to be here. Or I'm not strong enough to get back up. Or it's just judgment. And your mind is going to destroy you. You keep thinking yourself to be a failure. How many times have brother tried to ride the bike when they were a child and it fell off? But at the time we were children, all we could see is one thing. We didn't see the bike as our enemy and the bike, we'll never ride it. No, we saw the bike as an obstacle that we had to overcome. And what do we want to do? We wanted to ride that bike. We really wanted to ride it. So what do? We kept getting on. We kept fighting it. We kept pedaling. We kept striving. We kept falling. We kept getting back up until we conquered the bike. Not only did we conquer it, but now we're riding down hills, doing left turns, right turns, popping wheelies, going over all type of terrain, going through concrete and the dirt and the soil. Now it's to the point where we're owning the bike. We have to own and conquer these things that are holding us back, man, as we fall, to be strong in them. It says, and of good courage. Don't be discouraged every left turn, physically or spiritually. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, wheresoever thou goest. Meaning in the midst of the fire, when you think that you're by yourself, that's when you need to have the most faith to carry on. But this is a quick exhortation through the Spirit to continue to be strong in the Lord. Don't be faint. Don't wax weary. Don't give up. If you give up, right, you're at the end, that'll be all your works diminished in the last days, and another receive your crown. So continue on through the Spirit, and Most High willing, continue to pray for the nation, and continue to stay mighty in the Spirit. But with that, I'm going to give all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Shalom.